Welcome, 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 welcome. How's everybody doing this evening? Hey, we got something really special for you. And I want to kind of make a special request that's going to be very unique. It's a request I've never made in my entire life. The reason why I'm going live tonight is because there is a major move happening with my content. And I'm absolutely pleased that it is impacting people's lives and touching people from the East Coast to the West Coast and everything in between. I'm flattered. I'm honored. To God be the glory. Let me start there. But something happened today that I appreciate, but I don't want it to become the norm, because I don't want people to feel like they asked for something and I wasn't able to give it or deliver it, especially if I didn't ask you to do it. So here's what I'm going to ask you to do. I'm going to ask you not to send money to me via my PayPal link attached to questions and subjects that you would like for me to teach on and share on. I'm honored. I promise you. That's why I'm doing this particular live. Someone asked a question, and I'm used to people asking questions. I'm not used to people sending money attached to the question. Not even knowing if I was going to, see the question. I guess you figured I'd see the money. Excuse me. And I did. I'm recovering from upper respiratory. Excuse me. An upper respiratory virus infection, or whatever you want to call it. I've been battling it for the last week, and I'm a lot further along than I was a week ago. I just have these coughing spells that just randomly come out of nowhere. I preached Sunday and didn't cough one time during the sermon, and even I was shocked. But as I recuperate and get stronger, I want to say thank you. Someone sent this question, and it was about how important is clarity to success. And they attached a generous donation. And I guess I just felt compelled to respond, because this is what I do for a living. So when I see questions like that, it excites me, number one, to know that you're thinking on that level. It also excites me to know that something in you says, hey, ask him. Maybe he knows. And I want to share this with you because, again, I only share things that I know work. I only share things that I have tried and applied to my life. I only share things that I have the proof of concept, because I'm not going to be one of these people just throwing stuff at you, stuff I heard, stuff I read. If I ever tell you something, trust it. Don't try it. Apply it. Because I guarantee you, it's going to change your life. So the question that came to me via PayPal with a generous donation: how important is clarity? And again, please don't do that, because I'll see it, but I don't know when I'll be able to get to questions of that nature, especially if you've attached money to it. So again, I'm asking you not to do that. And you probably can't believe somebody's asking you not to send money. But I am, because I want to be a good steward, and I don't ever want somebody to say, well, I sent him some money and he never responded. That's just not the way. All right. But I'm glad to do this one, because it's a great subject. Let's talk about clarity. And I'm going to give you a couple of questions that you have to ask yourself so that you can reach a place of clarity. I'm entitling this lesson, Clarity is a Superpower. And I absolutely know it to be. That's why I want to put that in your spirit, that clarity is a superpower. Why don't you say that with me as we walk through this? Say, clarity is a superpower. Now, I'm going to give you a series of questions that I want you to ask yourself. And as we walk through these series of questions, you're going to experience a tremendous deal of clarity in your life. Here's question number one that you must ask yourself. What do I have going for me? Real simple. What do I have going for me? In other words, what are your strengths? What are your natural gifts, your proven skills? What are the things that people consistently get from you? That's question number one, okay? When I ask you this question, or you ask yourself this question, I'm talking about the energy, the mindset, the vibe that you bring that others cannot easily duplicate. Now, that's the key right there. What is it about you that you bring to the table, that you bring to life, that you bring to a room, that you bring to a company, that you bring to an organization, that you bring to a team that others cannot easily duplicate? Energy, mindset, vibe. What is it? Because you need to know this so that you can get clarity for your life. And I'll explain in a few minutes why this is so critical. Here's question number 2 that you need to ask yourself. Because what? Clarity is a superpower. Here's question number 2. Ask yourself this question. What do I totally suck at? Now, that doesn't sound like a deep question, but that is a very revealing question. What do I totally suck at? When I take people down this path and I have them ask themselves this question, most people sometimes struggle with being brutally honest with themselves. But you got to be honest. What are you doing, or what have you done, or what are the things that you've discovered you just absolutely, totally suck at? The areas where you waste time, the areas where you struggle, the areas where, watch this, you constantly need help. Now, this is good. Again, we're on a journey to increase our clarity, because clarity is a superpower. And you can't have clarity until you're really willing to ask yourself the tough questions and give yourself the brutally tough, honest answers. I'm talking about the habits or the tendencies that keep you from leveling up. And you know, what bad habits do you have that have been holding you back, that keep you from going to the next level? And what you should be doing is you should be jotting these down. These are not questions that I want you to ask and answer audibly. I want you to become real serious and studious about leveling up and going to the next level. So as you ask these questions, write the answers down so that you can go back and look at them, because this is going to give us a real clear roadmap for your life. Here's question number 3. Ask yourself, what are my actual skills? Here's the question. What are my actual skills? Not what I wish I was good at. That's what people give me sometimes. No, we're not talking about your wishing. We're talking about actual factual. What are your actual skills that you're actually good at? I'm talking about the things that you've mastered, or the things that you deliver consistently. And you ain't no one-hitter quitter. You ain't no every now and then great at something. What is it that when you do it well, every single time? Prepared, unprepared, short notice, no notice, you flow in that area, kind of like the fish when you throw it in water. It doesn't struggle. So what is it in your life that you have the skill set that sets you apart from everybody else? Here's the next question. And I love this question. This gets people to thinking. Here it is. If I were a brand, what brand would I be? Would I be a bold sneaker brand? Would I be a high-end luxury car? Would I be a Lamborghini, or would I be a Toyota Corolla? No right or wrong answer. No good or bad, no better or worse answer. The goal is clarity. Because there's nothing worse than thinking you're a Lamborghini, but you're really a Toyota Corolla. And there's nothing worse than thinking you're a Toyota Corolla, but you're really a Lamborghini. Here is why clarity is a superpower. Because it keeps us from wasting time trying to be something that we're not. And it forces us to embrace who we are, what we're designed to do, our skill set and what makes us special. And we lean into that quite aggressively. So if you were a brand, what kind of brand would you be? Here's the next question. And the lesson tonight, for those of you who are popping in, thank you for joining us. We're talking about clarity. We're stating that clarity is a superpower. Hey, Kim, thanks for joining us tonight. And I'm taking you down a journey, a series of questions that are going to increase your clarity, because clarity is like light. The more clarity you have, the less darkness you'll have about your present, about your future. But when you don't have clarity, you have darkness that impedes your path. It makes you uncertain about your steps. It makes you unsure about where you're going and how you're going to get there. And this is why clarity is a superpower, because it is a literal light that shines on the pathway of your life. And it gives you confidence because you can see what you could not see because you're finally seeing clearly. Now, it takes a great deal of honesty to do this. You can't be somebody who loves to lie to themselves, because you're never going to get real clarity and you're never going to get real truth. And sometimes this clarity, it hurts a little bit. Sometimes this clarity, it stings a little bit. Sometimes reality is brutal, but I would much rather have the truth en route to my destiny than to be heading somewhere with a pocket full of misinformation, thinking I'm going to be what I desire to be when I'm not even walking in the true reality of who I currently am. So thank you for taking this journey. This is not for the faint of heart. This is for the brave who are serious about leveling up in your life. Here's the next question, if you can handle this, because we just keep going deeper and deeper with these questions. But as you can see, with every question, we get a little more clarity. Here's the next one. What makes you hit different? I like that question. Yeah, what makes you hit different? In other words, what's your edge, your attitude? Is it your experience? Is it your creativity? How about your resilience? You just don't give up. Or do you have a magnetic personality that people remember long after you leave? What is it about you that makes you hit differently? Then when somebody encounters you, whether it's your attitude, your creativity, your resilience, your personality, you are hard to forget. But you're also a pleasure to remember. Again, we're talking about clarity. There are a lot of people that are walking in darkness because they never took the time to figure out what is it about them that makes me hit. Because that's what I want to lean into. That's what I want to build on. I don't want to shy away from it. I want to maximize my strengths, and I'll improve my weaknesses. But in the meantime, I want to maximize my strengths, because that's what's going to set me apart from the masses. Now, that's it for the questions. Here's the bottom line. Clarity is power. And here's what I'll tell you. If you get it, you will move with focus. This is so good to me. Clarity is power. And if you get it, you'll move with precision. Somebody needs to hear that. You will move with precision. Here's why this is important. When you have clarity and you're moving with focus and you're moving with precision, you get to cut through the distractions. And I don't care who you are. This life is full of distractions. This life can be sometimes full of discouragement and things that just kind of knock the wind out of us. That's life. You might as well embrace it. But when you have clarity, then when those things hit you, they might knock you down, but they can't keep you down. They might stun you and they might phase you. And I've been stunned and I've been phased this last year. But here's what I know about clarity. It allows you to reset. It allows you to stay focused. It allows you to gather yourself, even though you might be in a million pieces. Why? Because clarity is a superpower. Now you see why I say it's a superpower. It's like Superman has his superpowers and he's able to do a lot of different things, and he is recharged by the sun. Your clarity is what will recharge you when you're down, when you're distraught, when you're disappointed, when you didn't get the job, when you didn't get the good break, when you didn't get the good health report, when people may be working against you, when you can't figure out what is wrong. Why am I not moving further, faster? As long as you have clarity about who you are, who you're not, clarity about what you want and what you do not want, clarity about your value and your worth, clarity is a legit superpower. That's why you got to get it, so that you move forward with focus, so that you cut through the distractions, and so that you're able to position yourself to win big. Not just win. No. We want you to win, but I want you to win big. And if you really want to win big, long term, I'm talking about sustainable success, not one hitter quitters, but I'm talking about week after week, month after month, year after year, you're still sitting in that place of success. Clarity is the superpower. It's the one thing that has kept me all these years. It's the one thing that allows me to be me when nobody wants to rock with me, when people say I'm weird and strange and different. It's the one thing that allows me to stay true to who God has showed me I am, even if that means having to walk alone. Why? Because I'm not willing to negotiate the clarity that God has given me, because God gave me that clarity so I wouldn't be willing to negotiate. See, anytime you can negotiate, there's a lack of clarity. Anytime somebody else can get you to do something or be something or take a different path, then you don't have clarity. Because when you know beyond a shadow of a doubt who you are and whose you are, when you know beyond a shadow of a doubt what's for you and what's not for you, you won't switch up, even if it costs you loss. You won't switch up, even if it costs you money. There are some opportunities that I say no to because they don't align with my clarity. Who am I talking to? There's some people that I have to say no to because they don't align with my clarity that I have for my life and who God has shown me to be. Doesn't mean they're bad people. They're great people. But in the world of clarity, my superpower, I'm able to see beyond them. I'm able to see beyond the opportunity. I'm able to see beyond the money. Why? Because I got a superpower called clarity. Who am I talking to that really needed this? So clarity is a superpower. What I tell you, if you get it, you're going to move with focus. If you get it, you're going to cut through the distractions. If you get this clarity, you're going to position yourself to win, but not just win, but I say win big. But here's the flip side. Yes, clarity is a superpower, but if you ignore it, there is a price to pay. I'm not going to hold you. If you ignore getting this clarity that you desperately need in this life, then you're going to spin in circles. You're going to go around and around and around and around without any progress, without any success. Why? Because you don't have any clarity. If you ignore the clarity that I'm telling you desperately need, you're going to chase other people's dreams. Woo, my God. Yeah, you're going to be trying to be something that somebody else wants you to be. You're going to be trying to live somebody else's dream who didn't live their dream. So now they're trying to live their dream through you. And you'll never get to the dream God created for you because you never got clarity. I'm telling you, clarity is a superpower. And with it, you win big. Without it, you lose big. Teach PT. That's good right there. I'll close with this. Without clarity, and you can bet your bottom dollar on this, without clarity, you're going to stay stuck where you don't belong. Pastor Troy, say it again. Somebody needs that. Without clarity, you are going to stay stuck where you don't belong. You know why? Because clarity is a superpower. And when you have clarity, it'll give you the crazy courage to step out in places you would have never stepped out if you didn't have a clear vision of what you wanted, what you saw yourself doing, what you were capable of doing. Clarity gives you the courage to step over some things. Come on, PT. Clarity gives you the courage to step beyond some things. Why? Because, my past may be blurry. Watch this. But my future's clear. That's good teaching right there. Somebody needs to put that on a t-shirt and give me 99% of everything you sell. Let me say it again. My past may be blurry, but guess what? My future is clear. Why? Because I've got clarity. And clarity is a superpower. I hope this has been a blessing to you guys. What I'm going to do is in the comment section on Facebook, and I'll try to do the same thing on YouTube, I'm going to post what I call a personal clarity map. Okay, I'm going to post it for you. And what it does, it lists the questions that I just walked you through, step by step by step by step, so you can actually have a printout, and then you can fill in the blanks and sit with this thing for a while. Meditate on it. This is not a quiz where you rush through it. I need you to sit with this. I need you to let this marinate, because as you do, the illumination, the clarity is going to hit your life and be like, whoa, okay, now I get it. Now I see what I need to be doing. Now I see what I don't need to be doing. Now I see who I need to rock with. Now I see who I don't need to rock with. Not because they're bad people, not because that's a bad place or a bad situation. It just doesn't align with my clarity. When you know who you are, you'll get where you're trying to go a whole lot faster. Let me know if this bless y'all. I'm going to be checking the chats. I appreciate y'all joining us. This was impromptu, no announcement. Again, I did this because somebody asked a question via PayPal, gave a generous donation and said, would you please talk about clarity? I'm desperately in need of understanding the importance of clarity. And again, I'm asking you guys not to do that. Do not send money through PayPal attached to questions, because I can't guarantee you when I'm going to be able to get to such questions. And I'd hate for you to do that and be thinking, well, he got my money and he didn't talk about what I wanted him to talk about. I didn't ask you to do that. You did that on your own. Okay. We'll try to cover subjects as God leads us, as we always do. But it's a blessing to know that there is something happening with my lives and my feeds and my social media stuff. There's something happening. Vita sent me a message today and said, man, you've been on fire, bro. And I appreciate that, Vita. She said, man, my content here lately has been on fire. I guess she was saying before then it wasn't on fire. Nah, that's not what she was saying. But she was just letting me know, man, that here of late that something different is shifting. And that was a blessing to me. So, hey, the only thing I ask you to share this with people on your social media networks. I'm all about helping people. And yeah, I speak and I'm a coach and I pastor and I do different things. But platforms like this allow me to share wisdom and knowledge absolutely free for anybody that wants it. And listen, it's my pleasure, my privilege. I live to inspire. That's what I desire. And if we can help somebody else by sharing this, then hey, that's not asking too much. So when this is done and it repost on whatever platform you're watching it on, just share it. And I promise you, somebody's going to appreciate it, because I believe that clarity really is a superpower. Well, hey, this is Pastor Troy Wynn, Sr., the senior pastor of The Freedom Church. And, you know, I always like to invite people to church, man. If you're in the Warner Robins, Georgia area this Sunday and you're searching for a church home, pull up on us. We're in the building this Sunday and every Sunday at 10 a.m. The address is 820 North Houston Road, Warner Robins, Georgia. Again, 820 North Houston Road, Warner Robins, Georgia, Freedom Church. Love to see you this Sunday at 10 a.m. for another powerful day of worship and praise, enlightenment, understanding, and just the sheer presence of God that really makes the difference in our lives. Hey, until then, keep looking up, because God is the one that's looking out for you, and he's the one that's looking out for me. God bless you.